What's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be doing for the first time this season my NBA Power Rankings. I'm going to probably start doing this at the beginning of every month, beginning of every new month. Do a Power Rankings. It's a good way for me to be able to talk about every NBA team. Also, just looking at what the NBA is looking like, how teams are forming up. Just kind of a check-in, maybe a little bit. Kind of my Power Rankings. We're going to do that here today. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. Really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, turn notifications to also like that. I really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. Links to my Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that in the description down below. And yeah, it's probably going to be a long video, so I don't want to waste a lot of your time. Let's get right into it. So yeah, these are my personal just power rankings. I didn't look at any other power rankings or anything like that before this. Literally just went through myself and just ranked the teams. Don't take it too personal. If your team's lower than you expected, sorry. I don't have any personal hate towards any team or anything. That's literally what I think. So don't take it too seriously. We all have our opinions, stuff like that. It doesn't matter. All right, we're gonna get right into it. Starting at the 30 spot, we have not a lot of argument. The Detroit Pistons. They are 2-17. They have the worst record in the NBA. They're the 27th offense, 25th ranked defense, 29th in net rating. They're currently on a 16-game win streak, and they currently completed no win November. They went 0-15 in the month of November. Don't want to stay too long about the Pistons because I already just made a video about it like a few days ago. If you missed that, you can go back and watch that video. I talked about the Detroit Pistons and how bad they are. But yeah, just reading off some team stats and stuff like that. They're 27th in points per game. They are 29th. They're not a good three-point shooting team. They're 29th in three-pointers made and three-pointers attempted. They're 29th in turnovers, 29th in steals per game. Defensively, they're near the bottom of everything as well. They're just not good. And there's a lot of questions we had about this young Pistons team that we expected this year to kind of look a little better with a lot of the young pieces coming together and stuff like that. But it's just not working. The coaching is not great. The management isn't great. The team roster construction, injuries, everything has really been against the Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham's been decent. 22, 3, and 7, shooting 41% from the field. He is averaging 4.5 turnovers per game. Jalen Duren has been solid when he's played. He has missed some time, though. Jaden Ivey is starting to come back together. He'll be back in the starting lineup. He looks solid. Ausar Thompson has been really good as a rookie. He's averaging 11, 9, 3 assists, a steal, and a block per game. Even though she's not shooting well. Killian Hayes has had some decent moments. Marcus Sasser's had some solid moments. But yeah, this team just sucks. At the end of the day, it's a bad team. Bad roster construction. Bojan Bogdanovic is supposedly maybe coming back tonight. So we'll see how he looks maybe there. But the Pistons are bad. That's really what it is. They're a bad team. And changes need to be done over there in Detroit. Next at number 29. I have the Washington Wizards. The Wizards are 3-15. They're the 21st rated offense, the 28th rated defense. Looking at some of their stats as a team, they're the worst rebounding team in the league. They're 30th in rebounds per game. They play fast. They're second in pace. Offensively, they're either average to below average and a lot of things, but defensively, I'm surprised they're not the 30th ranked defense. They're 28th. They're dang near, but their defense is pretty bad. Looking at a lot of defensive numbers, they are pretty much at the bottom or near the bottom, and basically everything opponent-wise, like opponents' field goals made, they allow the most amount of shots made. They're 29th in opponent field goal percentage. 29th in field goals attempted, 30th in opponent field goal percentage. Teams are shooting over 50% from the field on them. Three-pointers, they're actually not bad at giving up a lot of threes. Rebounds per game, they give up the most amount of rebounds. It's bad. It is really bad in Washington, and we expected them kind of to be bad. I wasn't coming in this season expecting them to be like a 45-win team, obviously, but yeah, they suck. But they're supposed to suck. I feel like they're supposed to be a bad team, supposed to try to get a top pick and stuff like that. Kyle Kuzma's been pretty good though. Kyle Kuzma's far and away their best players, averaging 23, 6, and 4, shooting 47% from the field, 36% from three. He's been more of like a point guard a little bit, or point forward as well, getting some assists. I hope he kind of does get traded because I feel like he does deserve to be on like a good team and contribute to a really good team. But I won't be surprised if he doesn't. He is on a $100 million contract. So yeah, Jordan Poole is starting to look a little better in the last few games, but we might have to start having some conversation about Jordan Poole. Not yet, but I'm planning on maybe later and maybe the end of the season or something doing a video about Jordan Poole, because I feel like I want to talk about him a little bit. Deni Avdija has been pretty good. Deni Avdija has been actually really good. He's having 12, 5, and 3, shooting 50, 40, almost 90, 81% from the free throw line. Tyus Jones is solid. Corey Kispert is doing pretty good. Bilal Coulibaly, their top 10 pick, he's been pretty solid defensively and offensively, shooting 43% from 3. So there's some tiny things over there that, you see some glimpses of, but overall, this is a pretty bad team that no one really takes seriously, honestly. I don't take them seriously. No one really should, At 28th, I have the San Antonio Spurs. They're 3-15. They're currently on a 13-game losing streak. The Pistons weren't at the bottom of the league. We will be talking a lot about the San Antonio Spurs. They're the 28th rated offense, the 27th rated defense, and 30th in net rating. Some of their team stats, they're 28th in free throws made. They take the least amount of free throws per game. They're 27th in turnovers per game. They are third in assists. So the third in assists, they're 27th in turnovers. So that kind of balances stuff out. Defensively, they're at the bottom at a lot of different things as well. Yeah, again, they're not a good team at all. They're not a good team. They are still young, obviously. Young nucleus with Greg Popovich. But I feel like they shouldn't be this bad. Like, especially they started the year off like, 3-2, 3-1. They had good wins over the Suns. It was like, all right, maybe the Spurs team could do something. In the preseason, we saw Wemby was playing. We were like, maybe this team could be a sneaky playing push team, And they have not been that. They're on a 13-game losing streak right now. Wemby has had some moments. He's averaging 19, 9, and 2, a steal, almost 3 blocks, shooting 43% from the field, 27% from 3. Defensively, he's been there. I mean, a steal and almost 3 blocks is really good. Offensively, still needs to get more polished. Obviously, he's had some big moments, some big games. Still not really taking a lot of good shots as well. But that's also because the Spurs don't really have a true point guard that can feed him the ball and stuff. So he's got to get a lot of his on his own. Takes a lot of tough shots as well. But he'll grow out of that maybe and be better as the season goes on. Devin Vassell has been really good. He has missed a lot of games. He's now coming off the bench, but he's averaging 18, shooting 50, 40, almost 70% for the free throw line. Keldon Johnson's had some decent moments. Zach Collins looks pretty good. He's averaging 14, 6, and 4. Jeremy Sohan has had his up and down. He just had 30 last night, and he's shooting 42% from 3. So there's some little things here and there that you could see maybe, but yeah, the Spurs just are not good right now. Defensively, they're bad. Offensively, they're pretty bad. Greg Popovich is trying to figure things out, but yeah, I mean, this team wasn't supposed to be a playoff team anyway, but you expect them, I think, to be a little bit better, than on a 13-game losing streak, especially with Coach Popovich. At 27, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. They're 4-13. They're currently the 14th seed in the Western Conference. They are 29th on offense, 16th on defense, and are 26th in net ratings and team stats. They don't shoot the ball well. They take shots, but they make the least amount of shots per game. They shoot the ball the worst. They're 30th in field goal percentage and 30th in three-point percentage, even though they're not near the bottom in attempts. So they're taking shots. They're just not making shots. They're 20th in free throw attempts, though. They're 30th in true shooting percentage and effective field goal percentage, though. They just can't make shots. That's their thing. They can't make shots. Defensively, they're solid. They're 5th in blocks per game. Defensively, they're about average, but their offense is horrible because they can't make shots. Looking at this team, of course, they don't have John Morant, and they're not going to have John Morant for another 8 games. It's getting closer, I guess. Of course, the injuries, all that stuff. They really just got hit with the worst luck of all time. Like with Ja doing his thing. Then Brandon Clark towards Achilles, and Steven Adams out for the entire season. And Marcus Smart got hurt. It's just like the basketball guys just said, all right, you're doing good for a few years. All right, here's now. Boom, boom, boom. Like, they just have gotten the worst luck imaginable. And I don't really know. Like, they're a team where beginning of the year you thought, like, all right, without Ja, they could be like a 500 team. They've been good without Ja in the past. They could be about a 500 team. Then when Ja comes back, they can kind of hit their stride. It's been pretty bad. I think they were the last team to get a win. They started like 0-6, 0-7 or something like that. They've been pretty bad. Just no really culture. No offensively, they suck. Like Derrick Rose is their best 3-point shooter right now. Derrick Rose, yeah. Desmond Bane though has been pretty good. 23, 4, and 5 with a steal, shooting 44% from the field, 35% from 3. He's trying. He's had some big 30-point games. He's had like 5 30-point games or something like that, just not really working. Jaren has been decent. a little disappointing for me. He's not shooting the ball well. He's shooting 28% from 3, 41% from the field. He's averaging almost 2 blocks, averaging 19.5 points. Santi Aldama has been good, 14 and 5, shooting 44% from the field. Derrick Rose had his moments. The young guys, Zaire Williams, David Roddy's had some things here and there. Jacob Gilyard is a starter for them apparently. It's just bad luck in Memphis. And when Ja comes back, there's no guarantee this gets better. Like, they might win a few more games just because Ja Morant is Ja Morant, but I don't think they turn into like a 50-win or 45-win team. You know, they might be lucky if they get to near 40 at this point. They're bad. Got a lot of bad luck. This might just be a year where they just have to, like, you know, hey, we'll just send it, tank it, get a good pick next year, and restart this, you know. At 26, I have the Chicago Bulls. They're 6-14. They're 13th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 26th best offense, 21st defense, 23rd in net rating. They got a good win over the Bucks last night without DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine because the NBA is weird. So that's good. That was probably the best game they played the entire year. Looking at team stats, they're 25th in points per game. Offensively, they're not good. 25th in points per game. They're 27th in field goal percentage. They're 27th in rebounding, 29th in assist. They're 30th in pace. They're the slowest team in the league. 28th in true shooting percentage, 28th in effective field goal percentage. Because on offense, they're near the bottom 5-ish in everything. You know, defensively though, they're not bad. They're 5th in steals per game. They're a little below average, but defensively they're okay. You know, they could do some things, but just offensively they're bad. And we all know a lot of talk going around with Bulls about trading. They probably are going to start trading some people. We're in December now. December 15th is where free agents and stuff can get traded. So maybe things are going to start happening in Chicago, which they should, because this team is pretty bad. And I think they kind of realizing now, dang, this team bad. We got the whole Zach LaVine thing going on. Him and Billy Donovan, him being open maybe to a trade. Today, a report while I was doing this was about DeMar DeRozan saying maybe they said the Heat and Knicks are potential spots that he would look at if they are going to get traded. Alex Caruso, of course, is on the trade block because he's a good role player. But yeah, this team is not good. They're a team that should blow it up, that should just start all over, which sucks because they're just in a long rebuild, and then they got like a half year of good success, and it just came crumbling down. But you know, at this point, we just gotta do it. You know, some positives. Kobe White is pretty good. That's it. Kobe White has been good. That's really the only positive we can get right now from Chicago. And there's trades being talked about, so maybe they're gonna do it. You know, that's good, I guess. This team is bad. This team is pretty bad. At 25, I have the Charlotte Hornets. They're currently 6-11. They're 12th in the Eastern Conference. They're the 19th best offense, the 30th ranked defense, 20th in net rating. They have the worst defense in the league. Offensively, they're not bad, surprisingly. They're top 10 in field goals made, field goals attempted. Percentage-wise, they're kind of average to below average-ish. Defensively, though, they're not good. They give up a lot of three-pointers. They're close to the bottom or near the bottom in a lot of defensive categories. Again, they have the worst defense in the NBA. They're 30th in defensive rating, a 120.9 rating. They're not a good team, but surprisingly, they have been like competitive though. Like, it's not like they've been getting blown out by 20 every game. They've actually been competitive. They got a good one over the Boston Celtics in overtime. Recently, they're 3-2 in their last few games after going on a 4-game losing streak. They got a good win last night against the Nets. They did get lucky because Cam Johnson missed a really good open shot to win a game, but still, you know, LaMelo, unfortunately, he's going to be out for an extended period of time. We don't know how long, actually, but he's for the second year in a row. He's got injury problems, hurt his ankle. He was having such an amazing year. He was averaging 24, 5, and 8 with a steal, shooting 44% from the field, 38% from three. He's been amazing so far this year. He's been the reason to watch the Hornets. You know, unfortunately, he will not be able to play for a little while. Terry Rozier has been good. He came back last night and won the game for them. Miles Bridges is back, and he's averaging 20 on 50, 40, almost 90, 80%. Brandon Miller has looked pretty good as well. He's averaging 14, 4, and 2, shooting 46% from the field, 37% from 3. He's gotten some good run. You know, he looks pretty good, which I'm proud of him for that. PJ Washington's been all right. Mark Williams has been pretty good. He's averaging 13 and 10 with a block, shooting 65% from the field. Gordon Hayward. It's funny to see Gordon Hayward play now, because Gordon Hayward now plays like the 45-year-old man at LA Fitness. Like, no athleticism at all. ball handled, post, like he's in the post doing fadeaways and, you know, bringing the ball. Like he just play. Like if you watch the Hornets, which I don't know why you would, but if you watch the Hornets and watch Gordon Hayward play, you would see like, dang, this dude plays like he's 47. Dude plays like he plays at LA Fitness in the old man's pro league, you know. But I mean, it works, I guess. So you know, can't really blame him too much for it. But yeah, the Hornets. Unfortunately, LaMelo, the injury. That's really what is the tag right now of the Hornets is LaMelo's injury, which sucks because they actually are an okay-ish team. Are they a playing team? Maybe not. Maybe with LaMelo there, but without LaMelo, you know, I don't know. But they did win last night without LaMelo, so maybe, I don't know. At 24, I have the Utah Jazz. They are currently 6-13. They're 13th in the Western Conference. They're the 25th rated offense, 23rd rated defense, 24th in net rating. They're a very interesting team because offensively, they're not that bad. They're not that bad offensively. They just don't really make a lot of them. They're top 10 in three-pointers made, three-pointers attempted. Efficiency-wise, they're alright-ish. They good rebounding team. They average the most. They're first in offensive rebounds per game, third in rebounds per game. But they turn the ball over a lot. They're one of the most turnovers per game in the league. And then defensively, they're not that good either. Which, you know, they're a bad team, but I expect them to be bad. So I'm not really surprised by this. They're probably the team I've honestly watched the least. So I can't really give you a full, really, a lot of in-depth explanations of why they're good and why they're bad or not. You know, honestly. But, I mean, this is what they're supposed to be. They're kind of supposed to be a bad team, trying to get a good pick, trying to rebuild this. Larry Markkinen, we could tell Larry Markkinen last year wasn't a fluke. He's still averaging 23, 8-1 with a steal and almost a block. Shooting good, 48% from the field, 38% from three. Jordan Clarkson's having a good year. He's averaging 18 points per game. John Collins looks pretty comfortable over there, averaging 14 and 8. He's getting a lot of offensive rebounds as well. Their rookie, Keontae George, I like him. He's averaging 10 and 5 assists. Not shooting the ball well, but he's been kind of like their point guard-ish a little bit. One thing, though, Walker Kessler hasn't really been outstanding. You know, I mean, he's averaging 9 and 8 with 2.5 blocks, 54%. But it just, he hasn't been, like, he hasn't gotten better. But it looks like, kind of looks like the same, which is still a good center, obviously, that gets a lot of blocks and scores efficiently inside. But, like, you would expect him to take a jump. He hasn't taken that jump yet. He has also missed a lot of time. He's only played in 12 of the 19 games. So that could be a thing. But, you know, over time, maybe they can get better. But yeah, they're a team that they're bad, but they're competitive bad. Like, they're going to lose a lot of games, but they're not going to get embarrassed. Like, they almost beat the Suns back-to-back days. They just beat the Pelicans back-to-back games. Like, their team, like, yeah, they're going to lose 50-something games, but, you know, they're going to give you their best fight about the Jazz. That's why they're, you know, a very interesting team. At number 23, I have the Portland Trailblazers. They're 6-12. They're currently 12th in the Western Conference. They have the worst offense. They're 30th in offense, but they're the 12th rated defense and 25th in net rating. Their offense, yeah, is pretty bad. They average the least amount of points per game. They're 29th in field goal percentage, 28th in three-point percentage, 28th in rebounds, 30th in assists, 28th in turnovers. Their offense is pretty bad, which makes sense because there's a lot of young players. They had a lot of injuries and stuff. Malcolm Brogdon's missed some time. Anthony Simons has only played in one game. Scoot Henderson missed a lot of games. They're running Skylar Mays and Jabari Walker and stuff like that out there on the court. So, yeah, their offense, bad. Very, very bad. But defensively, they're there, which is very surprising. I thought it would be kind of like the opposite-ish, but they're doing it. They're 4th in steals per game. Defensively, they're 7th in opponent field goal percentage. They're 2nd in opponent's three-pointer made, so their teams aren't making a lot of threes, and they're 5th in opponent three-pointer attempts, so they're guarding the three pretty well and not giving up a lot of threes. And they also force the most amount of turnovers per game. They're 1st in opponent turnovers, so they're getting a lot of steals, blocks, forcing turnovers, not giving up a lot of threes. Like, defensively, they're actually a good team. They just beat the Cavs last night in a big comeback win. Like, the Blazers defensively are there. Offensively, they're god-awful. So if their offense ever gets a little bit better, you know, maybe they can do something. Maybe make some, you know, maybe make some noise a little bit, you know. But yeah, this team, Shane Sharp is pretty good. He's showing some things. Of course, he still has a couple turnovers and stuff like that, but he's still young. He's still only 20 years old, which is crazy. But Shane Sharp's averaging 17, 5, and 3 with a steal, shooting 41% from the field, 33% from 3. Jimmy Grant has been pretty good, especially the last week. He's averaging 22, 4, and 2 with almost a steal and a block, shooting 44% from the field and 43% from 3. Malcolm Brogdon's missed some time, but he's been solid, getting that trade value up. He's averaging 17 and 6 assists on good shooting. DeAndre Ayton has been rebounding the ball. He's averaging almost 11 rebounds per game, which is good. Scoot Henderson hasn't had a great start to his career, but he's starting to pick it up a little bit since he's come back from injury. He's currently averaging 8 points, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, shooting 33% from the field, 19% from 3. Robert Williams, unfortunately, is out for the year as well. So just a lot of injuries for the Blazers, that made it bad. Toumani Camara, though. Toumani Camara is pretty solid. The second-round pick out of Dayton. He's had some things. He's had some moments. Duop Reef is an NBA player, apparently. Jabari Walker had a good game here and there. Skylar Mays is doing some things. So they have some unexpected guys making some contributions to this team, But yeah, they're young. They're not supposed to be good, so I don't expect them to be that good. I think I picked them to be the worst team in the West this year. It was either them or Utah. But, defensively, they're there. So that's something to hold their hat on, I guess. At 22nd, I have the Toronto Raptors. They are 9 and 10. They are 11th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 22nd ranked offense, 11th ranked defense. They're 20th in net rating, some numbers. Not a good three-point shooting team. They're 26th in three-point percentage. They also they take a average amount of threes, I guess. 29th in free throw percentage as well, so they're not making their opportunities because they get to the line pretty solid. They're just not making them. They're 6th in rebounding per game, 5th in assists per game, 26th in true shooting. So they're just a team that doesn't really shoot the ball well because their spacing is very horrible. They don't have a lot of shooters on their team. Defensively, they're all right. They're the Raptors, so they're always going to be at least competent defensively. They're almost top 10 over there. But yeah, the space, they're kind of like in the average, where they're not bad enough to man, this team sucks, but they're also not good enough to be really, I don't know, they're just average. They're in that realm of just being average, and we don't know what they're really going to do, Scotty Barnes has been good. He's kind of slowed down a little bit with Scotty Barnes. The revival of him has been a big thing. He's averaging 19, 9, and 5 with a steal and a block, shooting 45% from the field, 38% from 3, 78% from the free throw line. So that's very encouraging if you're Toronto, and honestly, that makes you kind of a little bit safer too if you're at the trade deadline. If you are kind of in a weird, bad position, you can trade off some old guys because Scotty is taking the thing. Pascal didn't have a great start to the year, but he's starting to pick it up. He's leading the team in scoring. He's averaging almost 20 with 7 and 5 assists. He's shooting 48% from the field. He's shooting 20% from 3. So yeah, Dennis Schroeder has been pretty good too. 16 and 7 on good shooting. OG Anunoby has been OG Anunoby, shooting 41% from 3 and averaging 2 steals, or actually 1 steal. Gary Trent Jr. has gotten a little bit better as the season's gone on. The last few games coming off the bench, he's starting to knock it down. Jakob Poeltl is pretty solid, but after that, yeah, they don't really have a lot of depth. They don't have spacing, and that's what it is. Their offense is not that good. So yeah, I expect them maybe kind of around this range, maybe like a 38, 39, maybe 40 win team. But overall, I don't see anything super spectacular. At 21, I have the LA Clippers. They are an 8 and 10. They are the 10th seed in the Western Conference. They have the 17th rated offense, the 7th rated defense, 10th in net rating. This is a team where you look at the offense, the numbers, and you're like, wow, this is actually a good team. But numbers lie sometimes. The Clippers are a team where the numbers are kind of lie a little bit. Defensively, I understand. Defensively, they're actually pretty good. Offensively, though, they do not feel like the 17th rated offense. They feel like a 20-something rated offense. Not that great. They're 26 in assists per game. So yeah, offensively, they're kind of just about average or a little bit below average and everything. Defensively, though, they're pretty good. They're 1st in steals per game. Opponent field goal percentage, they're 6th. Opponent 3-point percentage, they're 5th. Defensively, they're pretty good because they have a lot of length and stuff like that. But offensively, they're not that good. And that's it's kind of getting a little bit worrisome. They lost last night in a close game to the Warriors. They lost to the Denver Nuggets the other day without Jokic and Murray, where Reggie Jackson, DeAndre Jordan turned into, thought it was 2017 again. They started to ball out. Just a lot of kind of things I need to get kind of corrected with this team. Offensively, they're not that great. Have a lot of cooks in the kitchen, but they're not cooking right now. Paul George has been pretty good. He's actually 23, 5, and 4 with a steal, shooting 44% from the field, 37% from 3, 92% from the free throw line. Kawhi hasn't been Kawhi. The last 2 games or 3 games, he's starting to pick it up a little bit. Against the Kings, he had a 30-point game. But he hasn't really been like the Kawhi we know he can be. He's shooting efficient, but he's also not taking as many shots, and he's not scoring as much. James Harden has been efficient, but he's not taking shots. James Harden's only taking 10 shots. When's the last time James Harden only took 10 shots a game? Probably like high school. Not even. You know, like James Harden taking 10 shots per game. You know, Russell Westbrook, honestly, I commend Russ a lot. You know, he's the one that said, I want to come off the bench. And they've been better since he's come off the bench. Come off the bench, kind of fit in the role they need, even though he's not amazing in that role, where it's like spot up threes and stuff like that. He's doing it. He's buying in. Norman Powell has been all right. Zubac has been solid. Their bench has been kind of in and out. Bones Highland doesn't really play that much anymore, even though he's having a good start to the year. He might get traded. Daniel Tyson's come in, and he's been pretty solid, you know, as a center, especially with Mason Plumlee being hurt. He's come in. He's been pretty solid. You know, this team just really needs a spark or something, and I don't really know what it is. It's just there's a lot of players like Paul George, Kawhi, James Harden, Russell Westbrook. They all kind of need the ball in their hands kind of to succeed, you know? And it's tough to have a team like that where you have a lot of players that need the ball, because at some points it just kind of gets stagnant, which is interesting because you should have a lot of players that have the ball in their hands. Like, all right, something's not working here. Kawhi, do it. Here, Paul George, do something. Here, James Harden, do something. But at the end, it kind of just becomes stagnant at some points. It's getting a tiny bit better, but still it's not there yet. Now, of course, they still have, it's only December just started, so they still have so much time to figure this out and get things going. But definitely isn't great right now. It definitely needs some work to add to it, you know. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Again, there's still so much time left. We'll see how things work out. At 20, I have the Golden State Warriors. They're coming 9-10. They're 11th in the Western Conference. They have the 14th rated offense, 17th rated defense, 18th in net rating. Team stats, they're not shooting the ball super well from the field. Like, they're taking shots, but they're only 25th in field goal percentage. They take a lot of threes. They're 5th in three-pointers attempted. Three-point shooting is kind of average. They're 5th in rebounds per game, 5th in assists per game. Defensively, they're all right. They're kind of average-ish. They do give up a lot of free throws, though. They're 20th in opponent free throws attempts, so they are fouling a lot and giving up a lot of free throws. They turn the ball over a lot. It's just kind of an undisciplined team, which is very interesting because this is a team that has won 4 of the last, 7 championships. But they turn the ball over a lot. They foul a lot. Just do a lot of silly things. They had a game against the Kings on Tuesday night where they collapsed. Almost did it again last night against the Clippers, but fortunately, you know, they hit some shots to save them. But this team is not as great. Like, they start off really good. They start off with 6-1 or something. We're like, all right, the Warriors might be back. And since then, they have fallen. They went on a 7 or 8 game losing streak at that point. Just the depth isn't great. You know, besides Steph's having a really good year. Steph's doing all he can. He's at 29, 5, and 4, shooting 48% from the field and 43% from 3. You know, but after that, it's kind of like, what are we getting? You know, Clay is starting to pick it up a tiny bit, but Clay still isn't Clay. You know, he's only shooting 40% from the field, 36% from 3. Andrew Wiggins has been good the last week, but he's still trying to get back to who he was. You know, Draymond Green, of course, missed that time with the suspension. He's come back, and he's Draymond. He's shooting threes, you know, but he's not a guy that's going to go out and give you 20, 25. Darius Saric has been pretty good, though. Darius Saric has been good. He's averaging 10, 6, and 2, shooting 45% from the field, 38% from 3. Jonathan Kuminga has had his moments here and there. He's still young, though. Chris Paul has been pretty solid off the bench, even though he's shooting pretty bad. Shooting less than 40% from the field, 32% from 3. But he's been good in, you know, not turning the ball over, getting other teammates involved and stuff like that. Kevon Looney's been Kevon Looney. Brandon Podziemski, their first-round pick, he's been something. He's shooting the ball very well. He had a really good game against the Clippers last night. But after that, it's kind of like they don't have a lot of offensive punch outside of Steph. Really, the only thing they can rely on is Klay Thompson or Andrew Wiggins gets hot one night. That's how they kind of rely on to win games outside of Steph. It's either Steph dropping 40 or Steph is doing solid, but then Klay randomly has a 7 3-pointer game. Or Andrew Wiggins has a 20-something point game. Or Darius Saric has a 20-something point game. Or Kuminga has a 20. They're relying on a lot of things that haven't been working. You know? They don't have a guy outside of Steph that you can count on to at least take some. Well, you can count on guys. Klay Thompson's gonna take his shots. He's just not gonna make a lot of them. They don't have a Jordan Clarkson or something or Jordan Poole that they're like, all right, we don't have anything offensively. Jordan, come into the game and do something, you know, and he can do it. They don't have that anymore. Again, defensively, they're not amazing, and injury luck also. Gary Payton is now going to be out for a while, who has been pretty solid for them. Yeah, they're just a team that really needs. They need to move. They're not a team that usually, makes in-season trades. They haven't made an in-season trade since like the Andrew Wiggins deal like 3 years ago. But they need a move. They need something new, because right now with this team, it's not really working. This video is going to be super long. I'm so sorry. I did not expect this video to be this long, but hey, we're doing it. At 19th, we have the Brooklyn Nets. They are 9-9. They're currently the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're the 10th rated offense, 22nd rated defense, 15th in net rating. Some team stats. Offensively, they're actually good. And this is like completely flipped from what I thought. Coming into the year, I thought they're going to be a good defensive team because they have a lot of length and wings and stuff. And offensively, they're just going to not be good, but maybe they can figure out some things here and there. But it's been the opposite. Offensively, they've been there. Defensively, though, they're not that great. Like, offensively, they're the three-point ball. Obviously, because, again, they don't have a guy that... They don't have a superstar guy that could just give the ball to and let him work. Well, Cam Thomas, I guess. But they don't have a guy they give the ball to and go to work consistently. So there's a lot of role players, so they're just kind of makeshifting an offense. And a lot of it is they're just like, we don't have anything, just shoot a three. But they've been going in. They're third in three-pointers made. They're second in three-point percentage. They don't get to the free throw line a lot, which, again, because of the superstar thing, they don't have a guy that can just go draw fouls. 29th in free throw attempts. They're the best rebounding team. They're first in rebounds per game. Defensive, they're 7th in offensive field goal percentage as well, but defensively, they're not that great. They're 20th in steals. They're 27th in opponent field goal attempts. They're 20th in opponent three-point attempts. And they force the least amount of turnovers per game. So this is very, again, like flipped on the head of what I thought coming into the year. I thought this year they're going to be a good defense and just like an offense, but they've been a good offense and a bad defense, which is very interesting to me with this team. But yeah, offense, yeah, they've been pretty solid. They're 9-9. Cam Thomas is the second coming of Michael Jordan, apparently. Again, he's missed a lot of time. He played the first 8 games, got hurt, came back last night, was their leading scorer. He's currently averaging 27, 3 and 2, shooting 48% from the field, 32% from 3. And they're kind of running through him. Like, they're literally like giving the ball kind of like, we don't have anything here, Cam, do something. And he's been doing it. That's how they've won games and stuff. So yeah, it's been very fun to see. Honestly, it sucks that he didn't get hurt, because honestly, if he didn't get hurt, he might be he might have been an all-star this year. He still could, maybe, depending on how many games, if he doesn't miss any more time, and he's still doing this. But he might be in all-star considerations, which is crazy. Mikal Bridges has got better. He's not shooting the ball super well. He's starting to shoot a little bit better. But yeah, he's averaging 21, 6 and 4. A lot of people expected him to come in and take a big jump, kind of similar to last year, but he hasn't, which is, I think, is all right. Cam Johnson's been solid. Lonnie Walker's been really good as a 6-man. I love him in this role. He's averaging 14 points, shooting 49% from the field and 46% from 3. Nick Claxton, unfortunately, has missed a lot of time as well. Royce O'Neal's been good. Dorian Finney-Smith has been good. You know, they've been solid. You know, they've been solid. They're 9-9. Honestly, they're a team. They're gonna go 41-41. They're a team that could go 41-41, because this is the type of team they are. They're not super amazing with talent, but they're not horrible. They're just kind of like there. So, if this team is 41-41 at the end of the year, don't be surprised. You know, just saying. At 18th, we have the Atlanta Hawks. They are also 9-9. They are the 9th seed in the Eastern Conference. They have the 3rd best offense, the 27th defense, and 16th in net rating. Offensively, they're there. Offensively, they're pretty good. They're 2nd in points per game. They get to the free throw line a lot. They're 4th in free throw attempts. Their shooting percentage is pretty solid. They're 3rd in offensive rebounds per game. They're 2nd in steals. They're 3rd in pace. They're playing fast. Offensively, they're there, man. Defensively, though, that's where they drop. They're 27th in opponent field goals made per game. They're 4th in opponent turnovers per game. So they force a lot of turnovers. They get a lot of steals. But if they're not getting steals, they're not doing anything else. Because one-on-one defensively, they're not that good, which is kind of weird. They do have Trae Young, who we know is not a good defender. But they have DeJounte, DeAndre Hunter, Sadiq Bey is solid, Jalen Johnson is solid, Clint Capella, Yeko Kongwu. Like, I feel like this should be like kind of, I'm not saying this should be a top 10 defense, but I feel like this should be just like an average defense. But they're not. You know, they give up a lot of points for this team. But offensively, I mean, they're there. Trae Young had a bad start, but Trae Young recently has been cooking. Including last night, he had, 44, 12. No, that was Tyrese Halliburton, had 44. What did Trae Young have last night? I got it right in front of me. Oh, no, he did. He had 45 points, 14 assists, had the game-winning charge as well. He's been starting to come alive. He's averaging 26, 3 and 10 assists with a steal. He's shooting 40% from the field, 35% from 3. He's starting to cook. DeJounte's had his moments. He's averaging almost 20, 4 and 5 with almost 2 steals. Bogdan Bogdanovic has been pretty solid. DeAndre Hunter has been really good the past week. Jalen Johnson, unfortunately, is injured. With a wrist injury, he's going to be out for a little while, which really sucks because he was a big part of this Hawks team. He's having an amazing season. Clint Capella's been Clint Capella. Eric Okongwu's been pretty solid. But offensively, they're there, man. Offensively, they're going to put up points. If Trae Young's playing like this, they're going to be a good offensive team. Really, it's just about can they get stops? Can they lock down on defense? And they're also another team that I won't be surprised if they finish like 42 and 40. They're just like average to me. Like they're average. Like they're so good offensively, but they're bad defensively. So it kind of like, balances out and makes them kind of average. So I won't be surprised if they're like a 42, 43 win team. Because that's just what this team kind of is. At 17, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are 10 and 9. They are the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. They have the 24th best offense, the 8th best defense. They're 21st in net rating. Some team stats. Offensively, they're not that good. They're 25th in points per game. They don't take a lot of shots. They don't take a lot of threes. They don't make a lot of threes. They're 27th three-point attempts. 3-point percentage. 3 points actually have gone up. Last year, they did not really attempt a lot. This year, they're kind of getting towards average. But yeah, 3-point percentage are not that great. Offensively, they're just not good. Not a good offensive team. But they're a top 10 defense. They're 5th in opponent field goal percentage. A lot of their other stuff, they're either average or above average in a lot of defensive stats. But you know what they're going to do defensively. Defensively, they're going to be there. They're going to lock in. Offensively, though, that's where there's a lot of concerns. They're turning the ball over. They're not shooting the ball well. It's literally been Donovan Mitchell, drop 40 and help us win. Last night, they had a bad loss to the Blazers where they're up by double digits, and they just let it fade away in the second half. Portland came back, forced a lot of turnovers. Cavs just stopped making shots. They stopped going to the paint, too. Early in the game, they were just walking to the paint. And then later, they just started taking threes. Donovan Mitchell is still Donovan Mitchell. He's missed some games. One big thing about the Cavs as well is why their record is like this. Injuries. Evan Mobley and Max Strus have been the only guy, and George Niang are one of the only guys that played every game. After that, Donovan Mitchell's missed 5 games. Darius Garland's missed 5 games. Caris LeVert's missed 3 games. Jarrett Allen's missed 5 games. Isaac Okoro's missed 9 games. They just have missed a lot of time. And of course, Ricky Rubio as well, who's a big part of that team. He not played due to personal reasons. Not gonna, talk about that a lot. But Donovan Mitchell, 27-5-5. He hasn't been shooting the ball well the last 4 games. But he's still been Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland has been very up and down. He'll have a 28, 30-point game here, but the next game he's not shooting well, and he's turned the ball over a lot. He's averaging 6 assists and almost 4.5 turnovers per game. So that's got to get cleaned up. Evan Mobley's been good. He's averaging 16 and 10 with almost 2 blocks. Caris LeVert, I like what he's been. Max Strus is having a really good year as well. He's averaging 14, 5, and 4 with a steal, shooting 43% from the field, 37% from 3. Jarrett Allen's been Jarrett Allen. So it's been all right. It's just I don't know where to gauge it. This is one of the more confusing teams to gauge because they have had a lot of injuries, so you kind of give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But also the Portland loss was a bad loss. That was a bad loss to Portland. And sometimes this offense just looks junky, with the 2 bigs and with Darius turning the ball. The offense sometimes just looks a little bit junky. They got to clean that up. And it's really just been the Donovan Mitchell show. So they got to clean some offense up. But again, they have missed a lot of time due to injuries. So they kind of, once we get halfway through the year, I think we'll get a better gauge of what this team really is. If hopefully no other injuries happen and they just keep going, and start to get a lot more chemistry and stuff, maybe they can look a lot better. So we'll see. At 16, I have the LA Lakers. They're 11 and 9. They're the 7th seed in the Western Conference. They have the 23rd best offense, the 15th defense, 22nd in net rating. This is the team coming into the year that we expect to be contenders. And honestly, they have not looked like contenders at this point. They have had injuries to their depth, which sucks. But even when they are playing, they look like a contending team. They're 29th in field goal attempts. They're not getting a lot of shots. They are 5th in field goal percentage though, so they're not taking a lot of shots, but they're making them. They're probably the worst 3-point shooting team in the league. They make the least amount of threes. They attempt the least amount of threes, and they're 29th in 3-point percentage. So they're not making threes. They're 29th in offensive rebounds, but they're 3rd in defensive rebounds. So I guess defensively, they also haven't been great. They've been a team the last few years. Even if their offense is going, we can rely on they're going to lock down on defense. this year hasn't been like that. Recently, the last like few games, it has got a little bit better, but they're not locking in on defense. You know, they're allow the most shots. They're 30th in opponent field goal attempts. So they're allowing teams to take a lot of shots. They're 27th in opponent three-point attempts. So they're allowing teams to take a lot of threes. They don't foul a lot. They don't give a lot of free throws, though. They're first in opponent free throw attempts. So at least they're not giving up free throws, but they're giving up a lot of shots. They don't look like as amazing as we thought we did. We thought they were going to be. LeBron is still LeBron. 25, 7, and 6. He's LeBron James. Anthony Davis hasn't taken the torch like I thought. And honestly, at this point, I'm probably going to make a video about it eventually. But I think it's time we have to stop the AD taking the torch thing. Like, I know a lot of people stopped. I was still a little bit of a believer in it, but officially, I'm done. I'm done. This is who Anthony Davis is. He's not a superstar, and he's not, like, #1 guy anymore. And that's all right, because he still give you 22, 12, and 3, but it's still in almost 3 blocks. He's still locking it defensively. Offensively, he has his moments, you know. But, yeah. D'Angelo Russell has been better. D'Angelo Russell having 17 and 6. He just had a 35-point game the other day. He's shooting 41% from 3. Austin Reeves is getting a little bit better. He still hasn't really taken the jump that we thought he was going to take, but as a 6th man now, he's been all right. But the depth kind of has been disappointing. Riyad Shamir's missed a lot of time. Taurean Prince has his ups and downs. Christian Wood has been all right. Cam Reddish has been good defensively, and he was just starting to get better until he got hurt. Gabe Vincent still hasn't played in a very long time. Max Christie's been the starter now. He's not shooting the ball well, but he's defending. Jackson Hayes is all right, you know. But yeah, the depth has not been as good as we thought it was going to be. This team is not as good as we thought. And there's still a lot of time. They just got blown out by the OKC Thunder last night, too. But there's still a lot of time to figure it out. But yeah, this just isn't as good of a team as we thought it was going to be. At 15, I have the New Orleans Pelicans. They are 10 and 9. They are currently the 9th seed in the Western Conference. I'm sorry. No, the 8th seed. I'm sorry. 8th seed in the West. They're the 18th best offense, 10th best defense, 17th in net rating. Team stats. Offensively, they're about average to a little bit below average-ish. They're still trying to find their rhythm. They don't take a lot of threes. They're 27 3-point attempts, but after that, that's the only thing that stuck out on the offensive end. Defensively, though, they're top 10, surprisingly. You know, they're pretty good defensively. They're locking in. The interesting thing about their defense, though, is that they play with fire. They play with a lot. They're playing with fire, not in a way of like playing with energy. I mean, they're playing with fire, like they're risking some things, because they give up the most amount of threes per game. They give up 40 3-point attempts per game. They give up a lot of threes, which, of course, in today's league, that's not a great thing because teams are living by the 3. But they're playing with fire because teams shoot the least amount of 3-point percentage per game. So teams are taking the most amount of threes, but they're not making threes. The team's only shooting 32% from 3 against the Pelicans. So maybe that's their strategy of like, you're going to take a lot of threes, but you're not going to make all of them. We're just going to hope that you don't make 23, and will we live with that, I guess? So that's the thing, I guess, on defense. They gave up a lot of threes, but teams aren't making threes, so they're kind of getting bailed out. This team, honestly, is the most confusing team to kind of gauge, and I'm going to make a video about it eventually. But I don't know what this team really is. I don't know if they're good, if they're bad, I don't know. Because they had a stretch at the beginning of the year where they lost like 6 in a row, and it was like, yeah, things aren't looking good. But then they had a week where they beat the Mavs, they beat the Nuggets, they beat the Kings twice, and it's like, okay, here they are. And then they lose to the Jazz back-to-back days. So it's like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know what to think. Injuries have been a problem. They always are going to be a problem, I guess. But yeah, CJ McCollum is back. He missed a lot of time, but he's back. Trey Murphy is going to come back soon as well, maybe tonight, which is a good thing. But injuries, of course, have been a problem. BI has started to get it back. BI and Zion are starting to get going. Like, their two-man game is starting to come alive, which is a big thing. They're both averaging 24 points per game. Jordan Hawkins has been very good as well. He's having 13 points per game. Valanciunas has been Valanciunas. Herb Jones is doing some things. So, yeah, there's some good things, obviously, about this team. This team is just so up and down. I still don't know where to put them. I still don't know if they're a good team, if they're a bad team, if they're an average team, what they rely on, what their calling card is. I don't know. Like, they're the most confusing team to me to figure out. So all we got to do is just wait and see what happens. At the All-Star break, if they're still kind of average, then okay, I guess that's good. I just don't know how to gauge this team right now. At 14, I have the Houston Rockets. They're 8-8. They're 9th in the West. They're currently the 16th best offense, the 6th best defense, and 9th in net rating. The Houston Rockets are average or above average. That's great. That is crazy that the Houston Rockets are like this. They've just been surprising the league. You know, this year, of course, they've been like the dumpster fire of the league the past 2 or 3 years. And this year with new vets, Ime Udoka in there, it's like, all right, we get a little better. We're not expecting anything crazy, but maybe they're not going to be the worst. They'll probably be 13, 12 seed, win maybe 26, 27 games, look a lot more competitive. But no. They are 8-8. They were 6-3 at one point. At one point, they were like 5th in the Western Conference. They're one of the best defenses in the league. And they look like an actual good basketball team, which is insane. Look at the offensive numbers. Their offensive numbers are kind of about average, which is good for them. Things that stand out about their offense, they're 3rd in turnovers, so I mean they're not turning the ball over, which is really good. They also don't play fast. They're 28th in pace. So they're not playing really fast. They're playing just good, competent basketball. But their defense, that's where it stands out. Some defensive numbers. They're 1st in opponent field goals made. So they give up, teams make the least amount of shots against them. They're 4th in opponent field goal percentage. They're 3rd in opponent three-point percentage. They're 27th in opponent free throws attempted, so they foul a lot. And they're also 1st in opponent assists, so teams are not getting a lot of assists on them. So yeah, teams aren't making a lot of shots on them. They're not getting a lot of assists on them, and they're not shooting well on them. So they're locking in. They are locking in defensively, and it's great to see. Alperen Sengun has been amazing. Might be an all-star this year. If the Rockets are still in playoff contention, why not? He's averaging 21, 9, and 5, shooting 56% from the field, 30% from 3, 66% from the free throw line. He has been amazing. He's taken the kind of the step as the guy for the Rockets, you know? So it's very nice to see him kind of take this step, and he probably could be the building block of the future for the Rockets. Jalen Green has had his moments. He's starting to get a lot better. He's averaging 19, 4, and 3, shooting 43% from the field, 36% from 3. He's been good. Fred VanVleet has gone in and been very good. He's averaging 9 assists and only 1 turnover. He's not shooting the ball well from the field, but I mean, at this point, Fred VanVleet isn't a good field goal percentage shooter. Jabari Smith Jr. has been better. He's averaging 13 and 7, shooting 50% from the field, 37% from 3. Dylan Brooks is shooting 43% from 3. Yeah, they're doing good. They're starting lineup at least. Their depth still has some things to work out, you know. They have had injuries as well. Tari Eason's only played 9 games. He just got back. Amen Thompson hasn't played in a long time. Cam Whitmore's only played a couple games. That's not because of injury, but, you know. But, yeah, like, the Rockets are a good team. The Rockets are a good basketball team. And that is insane, man. Shout out to Ime Udoka. If the Rockets make the playoffs this year or make the play-in, he's got to get Coach of the Year. I don't care. He's getting Coach of the Year. Because this team should not be anywhere near this yet. And they are. So shout out to Ime. Shout out to the Rockets for buying in and playing like this, man. At 13, we have the Indiana Pacers. They're 9-8. They're 7th in the Eastern Conference. They have the best offense in the league. They're 1st in offense. Balling. They're 29th in defense. And 12th in net rating. They're such a polarizing team. Like, they're literally the embodiment of we're just going to outscore you. Like, they're literally the embodiment of we're going to put up 130, but we're going to give up 135. That's literally what they are. They're literally that team. Offensively, they're crazy. 1st in points per game. 1st in field goals made. 1st in field goal attempts. 1st in field goal percentage. They're 5th in three-point percentage. They're 1st in assists. They're 1st in pace. They're 1st in true shooting percentage. 1st in effective field goal percentage. Like, offensively, they're killing the game. Offensively, they're balling. They're putting up like 124 a game. They're going crazy on the offensive end. Also 3rd in blocks per game, which is good. Defensively, though, they're 29th in rebounding. They're 29th in opponent field goal made and opponent field goal percentage. So teams are taking shots on them and teams are making shots on them. They also give up the most amount of free throws per game. They're 30th in opponent free throws made and free throws attempted, so they're fouling a lot. But, surprisingly, they're a good 3-point defensive team. They give up the least amount of 3-pointers made and the least amount of 3-pointers attempted. So, that's something. But, defensively, they're bad. They're very bad defensively, but they're very good offensively. So, that's what this team is. Tyrese Halliburton is really good at basketball. He just had 44 last night. He's averaging 27 points and 12 assists per game, shooting 50, 40, and almost 90. He is in the MVP conversation. I don't care how average this team is. He's in the MVP conversation. He's an all-star starter for sure. He's all-NBA first team right now. Like, he is actually amazing. It's been really good to see. They're a fun team. Like, if you don't watch a lot of basketball, or you want people to get into basketball, turn on the Indiana Pacers game, because you're gonna see a lot of scoring on both ends, a lot of pace, a lot of 3-pointers, a lot of dunks and lobs, a lot of crazy passes. We're gonna see a lot of fun basketball. Is it great? Is it good basketball? Yes and no, because they're scoring a lot, but they're getting torched on the defensive end. But it does not matter, because they're fun. They are just fun at the end of the day. And Tyrese Halliburton is really fun. So that's what it is with Indiana. You know, Miles Turner's also having a really good year as well. 16-7 with 2 blocks, shooting 50% from the field. Buddy Hield's been good. Benedict Mathurin has some moments. Obi Toppin's been solid. Bruce Brown has had this thing. They also have one of the best benches in the league as well. Aaron Nesmith has been pretty good off the bench. Jalen Smith is shooting 70% from the field. Andrew Nembhard is just a solid basketball player. Isaiah Jackson's come in and got some blocks. You know, they're kind of toying around with the starting lineup a little bit. Buddy Hield's now in the starting lineup. Benedict Mathurin's coming off the bench. So they're kind of still toying with lineups. But yeah, man. The Pacers, man, they're a fun team. They're going to put up a lot of points. They're also going to give up a lot of points. But they're going to win a lot of games just because they put up numbers. You know. At 12, I have the Sacramento Kings. They are 10-7. They are the 6th seed in the Western Conference. They are the 12th best offense, 19th defense, 19th in net rating. Some of their team stats are 10th in points per game. They take a lot of threes. They're 3rd in three-point attempts. Their shooting percentages are kind of about average-ish. Defensively, they don't give up a lot of threes. They're 6th in opponent three-point attempts. You know, they also don't give up a lot of rebounds. They're 3rd in opponent offensive rebounds per game. But yeah, this team, I think, is still trying to get back into rhythm. De'Aaron Fox, of course, missed a lot of time this year. They have had a couple injuries here and there. And they're still trying to kind of figure it out. They're kind of playing similar to last year, where they're playing with a lot of pace, taking a lot of threes. Offensively, they're just not really hitting at the same rate, you know. So it's going to take some time. I feel like they're still a team that are still trying to figure out things and still are really kind of a little bit tough to gauge. They're a good team, but we don't know how really good they are. But, I mean, De'Aaron Fox is having an insane season. He's missed a lot of games, but he's balling. He's averaging 34 and 6 with 1.5 steals, shooting 49% from the field, 36% from 3. He's been balling. Domantas Sabonis has gotten a lot better as well. He had a slow start, but he's starting to put it together. He's averaging 18, 11, and 7. Malik Monk is really good. He's in the 6-man conversation. He's averaging 14 points, shooting 40% from 3. After that, though, some things. Keegan Murray is not shooting the ball well. He's shooting 39% from the field and 28% from 3. He's also missed some games as well. Kevin Huerter is starting to get it back together. Harrison Barnes has been all right. You know, Trey Lyles is a big piece off the bench. Has missed some games. The bench has not been as good as it was last year. You know, like Trey Lyles has been, you know, Malik Monk has been good. But after that, Trey Lyles missed a lot of games. Davion Mitchell has kind of lost his spot in the rotation. Keon Ellis is playing minutes now. Chris Duarte is all right. He's not shooting the ball well, but he's okay. Jeremy McGee has been solid. Sasha Vezenkov is okay. Like, you know, they're still, I think, trying to get into their offense. They're still trying to figure things out. Good thing about it, though, they're not a horrible defense. They're about almost average, so that's good. But, yeah, I'm not too worried about the Kings. I feel like they're a team, again, they're still trying to figure out some things and what they are. And, you know, guys are still trying to get into rhythm. So, eventually they're going to be good. But, yeah, the Kings are still a solid team. At 11, I have the Dallas Mavericks. They're 11-6. They are the number 4 seed in the Western Conference. They have the 4th best offense, the 24th defense, 14th in net rating. They're a very interesting team to rank as well because they had such a great start. They have kind of fallen a little bit, but they're still pretty good. Offensively, they're there. Offensively, looking at the numbers, they're 5th in points per game. They're 1st in three-pointers made, 2nd in three-pointer attempted, so they're getting up threes, making them at a decent rate. They're 1st in turnovers as well, so they're not turning the ball over as well. They're 5th in offensive field goal percentage, so they're hitting their shots. They're hitting shots. Their offense has been good. Defensively, though, not great. They're kind of average to below average in a lot of different categories. They average the least amount of steals per game. They're also 29th in opponent rebounds per game, so they're not, you know, they're giving up a lot of rebounds as well. But, yeah, this team is a very interesting team because at the beginning of the year, I wasn't a big believer in this team. I had them missing the play-in at that point. I know it's looked crazy now. I'm sorry. But that was just my prediction. I thought Memphis was going to be decent. And they're not. They're bad. But Dallas, I wasn't a big believer in this team. And a big reason why is because their depth, I couldn't trust their depth. Like, I knew Kyrie. I knew Luka were going to do their thing. After that, who's coming with them? You know, I can't consistently count on it. And so far this in the year, they've been coming with them. That's crazy. Like Luka, right now is Luka. He's having 31, 8, and 8 with a steal, shooting the ball well. Luka Doncic. Kyrie had a slow start, but he's starting to pick it up. He's averaging 24, 4, and 5. Tim Hardaway Jr. right now, in my opinion, is the sixth man of the year. He's averaging 17 points per game, shooting 42% from the field, 38% from 3. Grant Williams is shooting 43% from 3. He's kind of slowed down as the season gone on, but he's been solid. Derrick Jones Jr., solid NBA player, shooting 38% from 3. Derek Lively has been pretty good, averaging 8 and 7 with a block. Josh Green's had some moments here and there. Still want to see him get a little bit better, but he's had some moments here and there. Mavericks actually are pretty. Their depth has been pretty solid. Again, I still want to see it throughout the entire of the year and once it gets to the playoffs, because they do have their games here and there where Tim Hardaway isn't hitting, Grant Williams isn't hitting, and then it's just Luka's got to put up 50. But I mean, offensively they're good. Defensively though, of course, they need they need help. They're not a good defensive team. Just don't have a lot of going against players with size is going to be their thing. Like Giannis gave him a good game. When they play against Jokic and Embiid and stuff like that, and Kevin Durant, I don't know how well they're going to be able to guard up and match up. But we'll see what happens for them. We are now in the top 10. At number 10, I have the Miami Heat. They're currently 10 and 8 or 11 and 8. They're 6th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 13th best offense, the 9th best defense, and 13th in net rating. The Heat team has been very surprising. Their team coming into the year, they thought, they don't have as much superstar talent. They missed out on Dame, missed out on some guys. They're like, all right, probably going to be similar to last year. They're going to be all average to below average in the regular season, make the play-in, and then from there on, we'll see. Their season really starts in April. But so far, they're proving wrong. They started off 1-4. They then went on like a 7-game win streak. They have kind of lost a little bit the last few games, but they look good. Looking at some numbers, offensively, they've been pretty good. They're 20th in field goal attempts. They're not taking a lot of shots, but they're making them at a solid rate. They're 4th in three-point percentage. Even though they don't take a lot of threes, they're hitting their threes. They're 3rd in free throw percentage, so they're being efficient. Other things, defensively, of course, they're going to be there as well. They're 5th in opponent field goal attempts, 4th in opponent free throw attempts. Defensively, they're going to be there. They're a top 10 defense. They're always probably going to be a top 10 defense. But offensively, it's been a big surprise, especially doing it with Tyler Hero. Tyler's only played in 8 games this year, but it's fine because they're balling. Bam Adebayo having a great year. 22, 9, and 4. Stealing a block, shooting 52% from the field, 81% from the free throw line. He's balling. Jimmy Butler, usually he's just kind of close to the regular season, and he still is, but he's been a little bit better the last few games, averaging 21, 5, and 4. He's shooting 40% from 3. Tucker Robinson has been pretty good as well. He looks a lot better. He's averaging 14 points, shooting 48% from the field, 44% from 3. Jaime Jaquez has been amazing so far in his rookie year. He's averaging 12, 4, and 2 with the steal, shooting 53% from the field and 39% from 3. He's been very, very good for them. Josh Richardson's been solid. Kyle Lowry's had his moments. Caleb Lawrence had his moments. Kevin Love, Hayward Highsmith. They have put it together. I don't know how they do it, but Eric Spoelstra is a genius, I guess. Eric Spoelstra just knows how to put players in the right position to be their best selves, and it's showing right now. They're a good team, and they're a team you kind of have to take seriously. I mean, they're in the finals last year. We got to take them seriously, At 9, I have the Phoenix Suns. They are 11 and 7. They're 5th in the Western Conference. They have the 7th best offense, 18th defense. They're 8th in net rating. Looking at some numbers, offensively, they're 7th in points per game. They're 3rd in three-point percentage. They don't take a lot of shots. They're 27th in field goal attempts, but they're shooting at a pretty solid clip. 3-point shots, they're making them, even though they don't take a whole lot of them. They make them. But free throws, they're really good at that. They're 2nd in free throws made. They're 3rd in free throws attempted and 4th in free throw percentage. They had a game against the Warriors where they shot like 50-something free throws. So they're getting to the line, They're also 1st in blocks per game. They're 4th in effective field goal percentage, and they're 27th in pace. They don't play really fast, because, that makes sense. They have Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. They have guys that like to take their time, like to work out other people. But, they've gotten a lot better. They were on a 7-game win streak before losing to the Raptors the other day. They're starting to pick it up, even without their team fully healthy. And defensively, they're actually not bad. They're 18th overall, but they're not a bad defensive team. They're 5th in opponents' 3-pointers made. They're 7th in opponent 3-point attempted, so they're not giving up a lot of threes. They're also one of the best teams at not giving up rebounds. They're 1st in opponent defensive rebounds per game. They're 3rd in opponent rebounds per game, so they're not giving up a lot of, rebounds and second chance opportunities, which is a big thing as well. So they're just doing little things. They're not giving up threes. They're not giving up second chance points. That's what they do. That's how they make it work. But the Suns actually have gotten a lot better. They didn't have a great start to the year, also because a lot of injuries and stuff like that. They're starting to pick it up, put it back together, even without their big three has not played a single minute together on the court. Bradley Beal's only played in 3 games. He's going to be out for a little while longer with a back injury. Devin Booker has had a lot of injuries. He's missed a lot of games. Kevin Durant's missed 2 games as well. But, they're still winning. Kevin Durant is having one of his best seasons ever at 35. He's averaging 31, 7, and 5 with a block, shooting 51% from the field, 49% from 3. Devin Booker, 27, 5, and 8, shooting 47% from the field, 40% from 3. Those two have been freaking amazing. Eric Gordon is still good, averaging 14 points per game, shooting 40% from 3. Grayson Allen is shooting 47% from 3. He's been pretty solid. Jusuf Nurkic has been pretty decent, averaging 11, 9, and 4 with a steal and a block. Drew Eubanks has been solid off the bench. Josh Okogie brings the energy. Jordan Goodwin has had some good minutes. Like, the Suns are making it work. Even without all 3 of their guys being together on the court, they're making it work. Kevin Durant is being Kevin Durant. Devin Booker has been the point guard. He's been passing the ball amazing, and when he needs to get in his bag, he can do it. Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen are shooting the ball from 3. Jusuf Nurkic has been pretty good as a center. Their bench, guys like Drew Eubanks, Josh Okogie, Jordan Goodwin have brought energy and brought some things when they needed to. Even guys like KDB Diop, Nasir Little, give them some decent minutes here and there. Like, they're starting to put it together. They're starting to put it together. We don't know when Bradley Beal's going to be back, but, when he does come back and if they start gelling, this is a very dangerous team. Very dangerous team. At number 8, you have the New York Knicks. They are 11-7. They are 5th in the Eastern Conference. They're the 11th best offense, the 4th best defense, and 6th in net rating. Some of their team stats offensively is interesting because if you look at this team offensively, just in the numbers, you would not expect them to be 11th. You expect them to be like 19th, 20th. Like, they don't take a lot of shots. They're not super efficient. They're 20th in field goal percentage. They're 27th in effective field goal percentage, 27th in true shooting. So they don't shoot the ball that well. 3-pointers, they're all right. They're a little bit above average 3-point shooting. That's why they won a lot of games. They also don't get to free throw line a whole lot. Well, they actually do. They get to free throw line above average. But what they really do well, and they're also 29th in pace, so they're not playing fast, but that makes sense because Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, they're not up and down players. They like to work, who work in the mid-range and stuff like that. What they are good at, though, is a lot of other things. They're good at the gritty stats. Rebounding. They're 2nd in offensive rebounds per game, 4th in rebounding per game. So they're getting boards. They're 4th in turnovers, so they're not turning the ball over. And defensively, they're a top 5 team. They're 1st in opponent field goal attempts, so it means they're giving up the least amount of shots per game. That's also because they're 2nd in opponent offensive rebounds and 2nd in opponent rebounds per game. So they're not giving up a lot of rebounds, which means they're not giving up a lot of second chance shots. They're also 3rd in opponents' free throws made and free throws attempted, so they're not fouling a lot. They're not giving up a lot of free throws. So yeah, they just do a lot of the little things. They rebound the ball well. They don't give up a lot of shots. They don't give a lot of second chance points. They don't give a lot of free throws. They don't turn the ball over. That's how they're winning games. They got off to not a great start to the year. A lot of questions, but they're starting to pick it up and starting to get better. Jalen Brunson, really good. He's averaging 25, 3, and 5 with a steal, shooting 47% from the field and 48% from 3. Lights out. He just dropped 40 on the Pistons last night as well. Julius Randle had a horrific start to the year, but he's starting to pick it up. He's averaging 20 and 10, shooting 40% from the field, 28% from 3. I love what RJ Barrett has done this year, even though he has missed a couple games. He's averaging 18, 3, and 2, kind of fitting into a role better. He's also shooting 43% from the field and 41% from 3. IQ has still been good. They're getting energy. Donte DiVincenzo and Josh Hart do their thing. Mitchell Robinson has been very good in the glass, averaging 11 boards and a block. He's also averaging almost 6 offensive rebounds per game, which is insane. Zane Hartenstein has been solid. Still want more. Quentin Grimes hasn't had a great year, but he can still get better. Still a lot of time left. But yeah, the Knicks are here. They started off not good. They're starting to pick it up. They're starting to play a lot more efficient basketball, a lot better defense, and yeah, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle are starting to ball. So that's good for them. At 7, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. They're 13-6. They're 3rd in the Eastern Conference. They are the 6th best offense, the 20th in defense, and 11th in net rating. The Bucks are a team. They think they're off to a great start. They're starting to pick it up and get a lot better. And also, I'd said a lot, like, there's some concerns. I'm not concerned about the offense with this team because at first it wasn't looking great, but offensively they're starting to pick it up, and I'm not concerned, which was right. You know, looking at their offense, they're 3rd in points per game. They're 4th in field goal percentage. They get to the free throw line. They're 5th in free throws made and free throws attempted. They're 5th in pace. They're playing a lot faster under Adrian Griffin. They're 3rd in true shooting percentage and 2nd in effective field goal percentage. So offensively, they're there. Offensively, they're starting to pick it up. They're a really good offense. They're also 25th in assists per game, which is a big thing because Giannis and Dame, I guess. But defensively, though, there's some problems. They're 28th in opponents' field goal attempted. So teams are getting up shots on them, and they're making shots pretty solid. All their defensive stats are either average to below average, but they're 5th in opponent free throws attempted. So they don't give a lot of free throws. But after that, a lot of their defensive stats are kind of about average to below average. They're bottom 10 defense, which is very interesting because they're usually one of the best defenses in the league. But now they're not. And, of course, that's personnel a lot of times. Of course, you go from Jrue Holiday and Grayson Allen. Jrue Holiday, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Grayson Allen, a pretty solid one himself. To Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley, who have never been defenders, really. You're going to take a drop. You know, especially also with Chris Middleton, who was usually one of your better wing defenders, with the injury and not playing as many minutes as well, relying on a lot of different guys. Jay Crowder as well has also missed a lot of time. He's a good defender for them, so it makes sense a little bit. But yeah, Giannis is having an amazing season. He's having an MVP-like year, averaging almost 30 and 11 with 4 steals, 4 assists, a steal and a block, shooting 60% from the field. So he is absolutely balling out there. Dame had a rough start, but he's starting to pick it up. He's averaging 25, 4 and 7 with a steal, shooting 42% from the field, 33% from 3. Brook Lopez is starting to pick it up as well. He's shooting 36% from 3. Malik Beasley shooting 44% from 3. So at least he's hitting shots on offense, because defensively, man, jeez. Bobby Portis has been solid. The bench hasn't been amazing. It's been decent, but it hasn't been super crazy. But yeah, this Bucks team is very interesting because, again, they're, of course, a championship contender. They're going to be in there. They have a really good team. They just need to play some defense, man. They just need to play some defense. And I feel like their offense kind of goes stagnant a little bit at some points. They got to pick that up. But yeah, I don't know if they can make a move because they don't really have any second-round picks to maybe make a move here and there. But yeah, they're going to have to figure something out defensively. At 6, I have the Philadelphia 76ers. They're 12 and 6. They're 4th in the Eastern Conference. They have the 2nd best offense, the 14th defense, and the 3rd in net rating. The 76ers have been a big surprise this season, especially with the whole rumors, the James Harden thing going on in the offseason and stuff like that. I expect them to come in and take a drop. Not saying drop out completely and win 30 games, but I expect them not to be a great team. Maybe kind of have some, you know, chemistry issues, and then Joel Embiid maybe leaves in the offseason and they rebuild this thing. But it's been the complete opposite. They've been one of the best teams in the league. Without James Harden, they're better. Nick Nurse has come in and provided a whole new offense, and it's refreshed. When you watch the Sixers and think about the Sixers, you just feel kind of a refreshing thing. Because coming into the year, we did not know what the Sixers team was going to be, who was going to be on the team, how things were going to play out, you know. But now it's just a whole refreshed team and a new team. You know, looking at some of their numbers, they don't score a lot of points per game. You know, the offense is pretty. They're second in best. They have the second best offense in the NBA. You know, they're 4th in points per game. So they're balling like that. The free throws is where they really, you know, rely on. They're 1st in free throws made, free throws attempted, and free throw percentage. So they're taking a lot of free throws and they're making them count. They're 5th in true shooting percentage, so they're shooting efficient offensively. Defensively, they're pretty solid. They're 4th in opponent rebounds per game, so they don't give a lot of rebounds. Everything on the defense end, they're average or a little bit above average, so that's good. You know, they're really good offense and a decent defense. That's recipes for success right there. You know, and looking at this Sixers team, Joel Embiid has an argument to win his 2nd MVP in a row. He's averaging 32, 11, and 6 with a steal and 2 blocks, shooting 49% from the field, 31% from 3, 87% from the fifth line. He's been used more as a hub, passing the ball, and he's doing a great job defensively. He's doing his thing, and of course offensively, we know what he can do. He's been good. Tyrese Maxey has taken an all-star-like jump. He is for sure going to be an all-star this year. He's averaging 27, 4, and 6 with only 1 turnover, shooting 46% from the field and 39% from 3. Tobias Harris has been very solid, averaging 18, 6, and 2 on good shooting. Kelly Oubre, of course, he had the great start, and then he had the accident, but he's supposedly coming back pretty soon, which is a big part of the team because he's a big offensive jump. He's averaging 16 points per game on 50% shooting. D'Anthony Melton is playing really well. Nick Batum, since coming over in the Harden trade, has been solid. Robert Covington has done some things. Paul Reed has had his moments. Patrick Beverley's had his moments. You know, so this team is starting to play like a team. A lot more movement, a lot more pace, a lot more other players getting involved in the offense. And Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are really good. And that's how they're balling right now. Shout out to Nick Nurse, man. Definitely in consideration for Coach of the Year. And now we're in the top 5. At number 5, the Orlando Magic. They're currently 13-5. They're second in the Eastern Conference. They have the 15th best offense, the 3rd best defense, and 5th in net rating. I made a video about the Orlando Magic yesterday, so if you missed that, go check that out. Go a lot more in depth about this team. But the Magic, man, they are very, very good. Looking at their offense is solid. You know, their 15th offense, their average offense. Yeah, they do their thing. They're not a good 3-point shooting team. They're 28th in 3-pointers made and 3-pointers attempted, but they do get to the free throw line a lot. They're 4th in free throws made, 2nd in free throw attempted. They'll turn the ball over a lot too. They're 26 in turnovers per game. Yeah, offensively they're kind of average to a little bit, maybe even below average at some points. So offensively they're not going crazy, but their defense is where they stand out. Reading some of the defensive numbers. Again, I went a lot more in depth on this team yesterday's video, so go back and check that out. But yeah, they're 3rd in steals per game. Defensively, they're 2nd in opponent's field goal attempted, so they're not giving up a lot of shots. They're 5th in opponent's 3-pointers attempted, so they're not giving up a lot of threes. They're 2nd in opponent free throw percentage, so teams do not shoot well from the free throw line against them. They're 1st in opponent's offensive rebounds per game and 1st in opponent rebounds per game, so they're not giving up any rebounds. Best team in the league at not giving up any second chance points and any extra possessions. They're 2nd in opponent's assists per game, so they're not letting teams move the ball around on them. And they're 2nd in opponent turnovers per game, so they're forcing a lot of turnovers. So this defense is pretty much elite. They don't give up a lot of shots. They get a lot of steals. They don't give up a lot of threes. They don't give up a lot of free throw percentage. They don't give up a lot of second chance points. They don't let teams get a lot of assists, and they turn the ball over. They force turnovers a lot. Like this defense is locked in right now. Shout out to Jamal Mosley, because he has got this team playing great. And yeah, the crazy thing is there hasn't been like huge jumps from a lot of different people. Like Paolo, he's kind of been the same. You know, Franz has been better, but yeah, this team hasn't taken a lot of jumps. They're just playing really good as a team right now. Franz is averaging 25 and 3 with a steal, shooting 46% from the field and 31% from 3. Paolo's averaging 19, 6 and 4, shooting 48% from the field and 43% from 3. Their bench is really good. Cole Anthony's averaging 15 points per game. Mo Wagner's averaging 12 and 4 on 63% shooting. Gary Harris is shooting 44% from 3. John Isaac has had some good minutes. They're doing this without 2 starters as well. Markelle Fultz and Wendell Carter. Both of them only played 5 games this year. But it doesn't really matter. Anthony Black and Goga Badaste have stepped in, and they have both had some moments. Jalen Suggs has found his identity as an energy guy, guarding up on defense and knocking down shots offensively. He's averaging 13, 4 and 2 with 2 steals, shooting 45% from the field and 37% from 3. The Magic are balling right now, man. Who would have thought the Orlando Magic are 2nd in the Eastern Conference right now? We just started December. They're the hottest team in the league right now as well. They're 1-8 in a row. So, of course, it's still December. They still have so much time left. But right now, man, the Orlando Magic are balling. They are balling, man. It's crazy to see. I was a believer in the Magic coming into the year, but I did not expect them to be this good. At 4, we have the Denver Nuggets. They're 13-6. They're 2nd in the Western Conference. They have the 8th best offense, the 13th best defense. They're 7th in net rating. This Nuggets team, of course, they're reigning champs. They have had a couple injuries. Jamal Murray just came back. He missed a lot of time. Yeah, this team, Aaron Gordon is now injured as well. He's missed the last few games. This team is still good, though. Offensively, they're still there. Top 10 offense. They're 2nd in field goals made, 3rd in field goal percentage. Everywhere else, they're kind of like solid, except for free throws. Free throws, rarely, they're not that good. They make the least amount of free throws per game. They're 30th in free throws made. They're 26th in free throws attempted. And they shoot the worst from the free throw line. They shoot like 71% from the free throw line. So that's very interesting for a team just coming off a championship, that they're bad at getting the easy ones. That's interesting. But after that, yeah, they're 2nd in assists. They're 5th in turnovers, so they're getting a lot of assists. They're not turning the ball over that well. They're 6th in effective field goal percentage. They're 26th in pace. They're not playing very fast. But everywhere else, good offensively. Defensively, they're pretty solid. They're not anything spectacular, but they're not horrible. They're kind of just all right. They're 3rd in opponent's 3-pointers made, 2nd in opponent 3-point attempts. So they're not giving up threes. They know. They're like, as long as we don't give up the 3, we're good. they're doing that. Yeah, this team is still, the Denver Nuggets are still a team you have to take seriously. Nikola Jokic is still having an amazing year. He's actually 29, 13, and 9 with a steal, shooting 57% from the field. He's Nikola Jokic. Michael Porter Jr. has some good moments, averaging 17 and 8, shooting 47% from the field, 39% from 3. Jamal Murray, when he has played, has been good. Aaron Gordon's been solid. Reggie Jackson has some moments. He's stepped in as a starter, and he's been good, averaging 13 and 4 assists, shooting 49% from the field, 39% from 3. KCP's in the KCP. Christian Braun is shooting 40% from 3. He's only taking 1 a game, but he's been better. Their bench is still young. Obviously, it's had some things here and there. Guys like Julian Strawther, Payne Watson has had some moments. Still need to put it all together, and they're still very young. This is their first time really getting NBA opportunity. So there's going to be some games where they're not playing that good, and they have been some games where they haven't been good, and they have gone on a little losing streak on the road. But now they've won 3 in a row. They're starting to get back to it. Jamal Murray's back, and now they could probably start going and clicking. So I'm not really worried about this Denver Nuggets team. They're going to be up there. They're going to be there at the end of the year. We all know. At number 3, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are currently 12 and 6. They're 3rd in the Western Conference. They have the 5th best offense, the 5th best defense, and 5th in net rating. They're one of 2 teams that are top 10 in both offense and defense, and the only team that are top 5 in both. Top 5 in offense and defense, man. Wow. That is crazy. And their numbers, they show it. I mean, offensively, they're 6th in points per game. They're 5th in field goals made. They're 2nd in field goal percentage. They're 1st in three-point percentage. Or 2nd in free throw percentage. So they're shooting the lights out from everywhere, from the field, from 3, from the free throw line. They're efficient as heck. They're 2nd in true shooting percentage. They're 3rd in effective field goal percentage. So yeah, they're 7th in pace. Like, offensively, they're there. They're efficient. They're efficient. Still some things you need to clean up, but offensively, they're efficient. And defensively, they're pretty good too. They're 2nd in opponent field goal percentage. That's good. Still need to clean up a little things defensively, though. They do have Chet Holmgren, Shea Gill. They do have a lot of great defenders around. But they still need to clean up some little things. And a lot of these things as well is because of their size. Like, they're one of the worst rebounding teams. They're 30th in offensive rebounds per game. They're 26th in rebounds per game. And they're also the worst. They're 30th in opponent offensive rebounds per game. And near the bottom in opponent rebounds. So they don't rebound the ball, and they give up a lot of rebounds. Which, of course, their size. Chet Holmgren's really the only center they have. Jalen Williams is their backup, but he's like 6'7", so he's not really a big center, so they give up a lot of rebounds. They're also 26 in opponent three-point attempts and 26 in opponent free throw attempts, so they give up a lot of threes and a lot of free throws, so they got to clean up some things. But I mean, this Thunder team has been balling out, man. Really, really good. We expect them, of course, to take a jump, but we didn't expect them to be one of the best teams in the league type jump. They're doing good. Shea is really good. He's averaging 36 and 6 with 2 steals and almost a block, shooting 54% from the field, 35% from 3, 94% from the free throw line. He's amazing. He's a star. And Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren right now is Rookie of the Year. We expect him to be good, but we did not expect him to be this impactful this early. After missing the entire year last year, coming in, summer league, stuff like that, show some things, preseason, show some things, but he's been going crazy in the regular season. He's averaging 18, 8, and 2 with 2 blocks and almost a steal, shooting 53% from the field, 41% from 3, 87% from the free throw line. He's been great. He's been great. And a big reason why this OKC team is as good as it is because Chet Holmgren's kind of been their missing piece. Last year, they were good, but they didn't have they didn't have a lot of paint presence and stuff like that. Chet Holmgren has been that and more. He's been amazing so far. J-Dub as well. He's averaging 17, 4, and 4. Doing good. Josh Giddey, I'm not going to talk about him. Isaiah Joe is shooting the lights out from 3, shooting 46% from 3. Lou Dort has kind of slowed down, but he had a hot start. He's still shooting 42% from 3. Kaysen Wallace, their first-round pick, has been really good as well. He's shooting 61% from the field and 57% from 3. He's not taking a lot of shots, but he's making them. They've gotten contribution from guys like Kenny Williams, Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams. This team, this Thunder team, man, is here. They're for real. They are for real. You got to be really worried about this OKC team, man, because they're so young. They're so good right now. Man. Can't wait to see how they keep going. At number 2, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're 14 and 4. They're number 1 in the West. They have the 20th best offense, but the best defense in the league and 4th in net rating. The Timberwolves team, looking at it from an offensive standpoint, they don't look anything crazy. Honestly, they look maybe a little bit below average offensively. But defensively, where they hold their hat. Offensively, their numbers, they take the least amount of shots per game. They're 30th in field goal attempts, but they're 7th in field goal percentage. Offensively, most of their stats are either about average to a little bit below average. Offensively, they're still trying to figure things out, but defensively, they're amazing. They also rebound the ball well. They're second in defensive rebounds per game. They're second in blocks per game. They're second in opponent field goals made per game. First in opponent field goal percentage. Second in opponent three-point percentage. Third in opponent defensive rebounds. So teams shoot bad against them. They're good at not letting shots go in. You know, they're also good at not giving up a lot of defensive rebounds. You know, like defensively they're there. They have been really, really good. Anthony Edwards has taken the jump. He's averaging 26, 6, and 5 with a steal, shooting 46% from the field, 37% from 3. Anthony Towns had a very bad start to the year, but he's been a lot better recently. He's averaging 22, 9, and 3 with a steal, shooting 50% from the field and 41% from the field, shooting 50, 40, 90. Rudy Gobert is back to Defensive Player of the Year. Rudy Gobert. He's in my book, he's a Defensive Player of the Year right now. He's averaging 12 and 11. He's averaging over 2 blocks per game. He's been good. Naz Reid has been really good off the bench. Mike Conley's been the solid vet. Jay McDaniels has missed a lot of time due to injury. When he's played, he's been solid. You know, the bench is pretty good. Kyle Anderson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Troy Brown, and Shake Milton sometimes come in and do some things as well. Like, this Minnesota team, man, they're good. They are really, really good, man. They got a good starting lineup, good bench, elite defense. Offense still needs, of course, to work things out, but we're still very early on in the year, man. This team, you gotta take it serious. They're going to win a lot of games in the regular season. I won't be surprised if they're one of the top teams in the West at the end of the year. They have a 50-something win season just because their defense is so good. You know, and when Anthony Edwards and Anthony Towns balling like this, they're going to win a lot of games. I don't know about the playoffs yet because they're still very young and stuff, but, I mean, this is a really, really good team. And finally, at number 1, the Boston Celtics. They're 14-4, best in the Eastern Conference. They have the 9th best offense, the 2nd best defense, 1st in net rating. Again, one of them and the Thunder are the only teams that are top 10 in both offense and defense. Looking at some stats right now. Offensively, they're pretty solid. They're top 10 because they have a really good talent. They take a lot of threes. They're 2nd in three-pointers made, 1st in three-point attempts. So they're getting up their threes. They're 4th in offensive field goal percentage. They rebound the ball well. They're the best defensive rebounding team in the league. They're 2nd overall in rebounds. Defensively, they're pretty good. They're 3rd in opponent field goal percentage, 1st in opponent free throws made, 2nd in opponent free throw attempt, they're 1st in opponent free throw percentage, so they're not letting teams get easy ones on them. And they're 3rd in opponent assists per game, so they're not letting teams get assists. They're just a really good overall team. They're probably the best, like, 1 through 7 team in the league. They just have so much of that. Jason Tatum is actually 27, 8, and 4 with a steal, shooting 49% from the field, 36% from 3. Jaylen Brown isn't shooting the ball super well, but he's starting to pick it up a little bit. He's actually 22, 5, and 3 with a steal. Kristaps Porzingis has been amazing, even though he is injured right now. But he's been amazing, averaging 19, 6, and a block, shooting 54% from the field. Derek White is probably the best role player in the league right now. He's averaging 14, 3, and 5 with a steal, shooting 47% from the field, 39% from 3. Jahad has been pretty solid. Al Horford has done his thing. Even getting guys like Sam Hauser and Payne Pritchard to provide some decent minutes when they do play. They're a really good team. Offensively, defensively, they're really good. They're a team you're going to have to worry about. Might be the favorites right now to win a championship. Just really, really good. The only thing, I think they have to get better. Closing out games could be a problem. I feel like so far this year, they had some fourth quarters where they have not looked the best. You know, so they kind of got to work that out a little bit. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum haven't been, like, super, like, on it all the time. They got to get a little bit better. But they're still the best team in the league at this point. And, yeah, they're going to be a tough team to stop, you know. But yeah, it's going to be it for today. This was dang near an hour-and-a-half video. Wow. Wow, that's surprising. Hopefully not all the Power Rankings videos go like this. But, yeah, it's going to be it for today. Once again, if you like the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications. Also, at that, I really appreciate it. We love that a lot. If you had any thoughts about where I rank teams and stuff like that, or your own rankings, you know, leave them down below in the comments. And, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.